Hi, and welcome along to this motivational video. This is Richard Butler of richardbutlerthesuccesscoach.com. And in this video, I want to talk to you about 17 ways to get out of your comfort zone. Now, some of them are going to seem ridiculous. Some are going to be too scary for you. And the first one is going to blow your mind. But the idea is to think about how you could overcome your fears and get out of your comfort zone. And I'll tell you a little bit of a story at the end. So the first thing is your comfort zone is a trap. It keeps you from becoming and experiencing more than you can currently do. But if you're unwilling to be uncomfortable, your life is stuck in the same place and it will never change. And you see, it is natural that we avoid discomfort. Why? Because we don't like to be uncomfortable. That's basically it. But where we're uncomfortable, that's where all the fun and growth can happen. Now, you can choose to break out of your comfort zone anytime you please. There are plenty of opportunities to make yourself uncomfortable each day, and these can be big or small opportunities. It is up to you. And learn to embrace this discomfort and experience life to the fullest with these strategies. Okay, so you're ready for number one. Go skydiving or bungee jumping. Yeah, let's jump in there with a really scary one to get you out of your comfort zone. Now, this is about as uncomfortable as you can get. I tell you, you will leave your comfort zone far behind with either of these options, and I've not done it myself. You might also consider something a little bit better like surfing, rock climbing, or taking flying lessons. Now, actually, let me tell you now about how I got out of my comfort zone. If you've been to Barcelona, you may know there's an amusement park called El Tibidabo, and it's set on the top of a hill. And it's a beautiful place. Now, about 3 years ago, I was not comfortable with going on the Russian mountain, they call it. It's like a small mini roller coaster. And one day I just said, I'll do it. And I got on it, and it was so exhilarating. Now, there's two other things up there, and one of them is a big wheel, and the other one is called La Atalaya. Now, the big wheel, I always gave excuses to my wife for not going on it. We're with my nephew, with my daughter, she doesn't want to go up, he doesn't want to go up, and I never went up on it. But during the Christmas break in 2018, there weren't a lot of queues. My wife said, come on, we'll go up. So we went up, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. So that was okay. So then along comes La Atalaya, which I said I would never get up. Imagine, if you will, how can I describe this? It's a 50-meter high attraction, and you get into a little sort of cage at the bottom, and then you slowly go up in the air, very, very slowly. And then once you reach the top, they let somebody else in or out of the bottom cage that they have. And it goes very, very slowly. But it is so high, because remember, you're on the top of a mountain and then you're going 50 meters higher. And I had my action camera with me and I took a lovely video, but I didn't really enjoy the view. And there was a little kid who was walking from side to side in the cage, and it rocked a little bit. And I wasn't so happy about that. But I did it, and it wasn't as bad as I thought. It got me out of my comfort zone. It was a little bit exhilarating. So let's talk about the second thing that you could do. Well, try a new type of food. That's quite a good one, isn't it? It's not too scary. Because let's face it, I'm Irish, and meat and potatoes is what I grew up with. And meat and potatoes are fine, but there's plenty of other options. For example, have you ever been to an Indian or Vietnamese restaurant? Maybe a Mexican restaurant, an Ethiopian restaurant? Try something new. Now, speaking of Vietnam, speaking about Ethiopia, perhaps go to a third world or developing country, because this will be like nothing you've ever experienced, and you will find a few surprises. Speaking of surprises, why not visit a large foreign city? Now, I'm looking at this image here, and it resembles Barcelona a lot. In fact, I think it could have been taken from one spot in Barcelona. Barcelona is an amazing city. About 8 years ago, I moved here for work reasons. I've never looked back. And because of my work, I had a lot of opportunities to go to many different countries, and I actually visited a large part of Latin America, which was amazing as well. But it's scary, and that takes you out of your comfort zone. You're in a new place, you don't know anybody. Now, there's plenty of huge cities in the world. Even if it's not a huge city, go for a small city, but go somewhere and see what you think. And believe it or not, there are cities that are bigger than New York. Now, if you really want to get out of your comfort zone, go to a city where you don't know the language and stay for a week. That's another interesting one. In number 5, we have join Toastmasters or any type of club where you have to give a speech, because they often say that one of the things that people fear, along with death and taxes, is making a speech in public. Now, I love public speaking, but a lot of people fear it worse than death. And you're not only going to be uncomfortable, but you'll be learning a valuable new skill. And this is quite a safe environment, it's quite a good environment to work through getting over this fear that most people have. Now, this is one I laugh about, number 6, learn to ride a motorcycle, because I've often said to my wife, well, maybe when I'm 50, I might buy a motorcycle. And I laugh because I'm more likely to have an accident of the motorcycle falling on top of me than actually before I even get on the motorcycle. But maybe that's one thing to do. You know, I think everybody wants to do it, but a lot of us are just a little afraid to do it. And, you know, maybe we could, if you wanted to do it, go for lessons and then experience it. How about asking a beautiful person out? And what a backdrop there, it looks like Italy. But ask a beautiful person out, or somebody that you consider beautiful. And I don't mean just beautiful physically, but beautiful in their personality as well. That could be really exhilarating. And you know, you might be pleased with the results as well. Now, number 8 is not for everybody, but join a church, or let's call it a spiritual movement. If you don't attend church, or if you're not involved in a spiritual movement, it can be intimidating to get back into the swing of things. But for some people, they find this very comforting once they join. Now, if religion or spirituality is not your thing, what about joining a club? Because let's face it, maybe religion isn't your thing. But you could join a club and meet some new people. Now, number 10, wear a bathing suit to a public pool or the beach. Many people don't want to do that. Now, make sure it's a public pool or the beach. Obviously, don't wear the bathing suit to your church or anything like that, because that will really be out of your comfort zone. But for many people, this is very uncomfortable. So let me ask you, how brave are you? Now, in number 11, we have volunteer. So do something for free to help other people. Because you see, meeting new people is often uncomfortable, but if you volunteer, you'll be doing something positive and meaningful with your time. Now, this is one that my wife has asked me to do, but luckily because of her travel, I haven't had to do it, but take dance lessons. The average Irish person isn't known to be the best dancer, so dance lessons could be really useful. So what do you want to do? The tango, the waltz, disco? It's up to you. But doing dance lessons, I've been told, because I haven't done them yet, can be great fun. You can make new friends and you can get in shape. Well, you think you dance like a gorilla? So much the better. You're going to have a lot of fun. Number 13 is one that I've done on a number of occasions actually, is to write a book. Because, you know, we've all read a few horrible books. And if we look down deep into ourselves, we know we could do better, but we're afraid to do it. Why? What will happen if somebody says it's not good? What will happen? It doesn't matter. Try it. Now is the time. But of course, the question is, what will you write about? Well, write about your life. Write about your experiences. Write about the job that you've been doing and hints and tips about how to succeed in that job. Number 14 is a very good one. Give up a bad habit. You see, a lot of the times, bad habits create comfort. Alcohol, drugs, smoking. We feel comfortable when we do those things because we've anchored emotions to those bad habits. But breaking them is very uncomfortable. And by doing this challenge, you can improve yourself. So pick your worst habit and be strong. Be that giving up alcohol for a month, giving up smoking, controlling your eating habits. And coupled with this, number 15 is create a new positive habit. Because creating new habits can also be uncomfortable. And I was talking to somebody recently and they said it's easier to fall back into your old bad habits than create a new habit which may be uncomfortable because you may have to change a lot of things when you create this new habit. Think about what new habit would best serve you and consider your goals and long-term plans and realize that creating this good habit is going to be good for you in the long term. Train for a race we have in number 16. This one I had hoped to do, but because of one or two health little issues, I wasn't able to do it. But I think it's a good one for a lot of people. And a race is anything you want. You could be competing against yourself to try and walk more, etc. You can get in shape and put your performance out there for the world to see. But start with something easy, a short race, and work your way up. So don't try and go for a marathon if you've never run before. Maybe go for a 5-kilometer race or a 3-kilometer race if you can find one in your city. And what about in number 17, take an improv or comedy class? And I can tell you that one thing, this can break you out of your comfort zone too, because it's something that you're going to have to try and make people laugh. You might even learn a new trade. If you didn't avoid discomfort, believe it or not, you would already have everything that you want. And ask yourself why certain things make you uncomfortable. Is it making a phone call? I know sometimes that makes me uncomfortable. Making phone calls in Spanish, I prefer to do it face to face. But you see, it's much more effective to deal with your discomfort head on than it is to avoid it. The more we avoid it, the worse the problem becomes. Accommodating your discomfort day after day is exhausting and limiting because it is accommodating. It is trying to find ways to avoid things, to work around things. So my message to you on this Monday is get out of your comfort zone today. And if it's not Monday where you are, well, my message for you today is get out of your comfort zone. Because I can tell you, you will be glad that you did. You've been listening to Richard Butler of richardbutlerthesuccesscoach.com. If you're watching this on Facebook, leave me a like, share it, leave me a comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to my channel for more Monday motivational videos. I'll talk to you next Monday.